Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Losing Your Parents International Radio Show, broadcasting from Portland, Oregon. My name is Lisa A. Snyder, and if you don't know me or my story, a little bit about me, I lost both of my parents to cancer in my 20s when I was 22. My dad died of Hodgkin's disease lymphoma. The day before my 23rd birthday, I was present for him during his illness and was present when he transitioned. And when I was 27, I watched my mom take her last breath. She passed away from AML leukemia. After being there for them during their illnesses and witnessing their deaths, I had to face life as a young person without them, and I had to figure out kind of how to live life without their guidance, without their direct love. And I decided that it was important to me to connect with other people who've also lost their parents. And I'm in my early 30s now. I write and I talk about my journey through healing my grief and working through life's challenges that come up, mostly using creativity and self-expression. I do a lot of experiments. Let me try this. Let me try that. Let's see what works. And my blog is losingyourparents.org, and my goal is to bridge the gap between grief and joy at every possible opportunity in this life. If you'd like to get in touch with me, please contact me, losingyourparents.org/contact. You can also contact me on the Facebook page, facebook.com/losingyourparents, or tweet me at losingparents. I also have a sister site that I'd like to share some information about. It's called griefpost.com. It's totally anonymous self-expression. So you can go there if you wanted to share whatever's on your mind. There's no names. There's no email addresses. You just post and, know it gets read by somebody. And there's no judgment there, and it's just nice to have a place to share your feelings. I created that site because when my parents died, I felt like, you know what, sometimes I just want to say whatever's on my mind without judgment and without the fear of someone being like, oh, I can't handle that or whatever, any kind of rejection. So that's totally taken out of the equation here, and that's why I created griefpost.com. So last week we talked about what's on your bucket list. I talked a little bit about some things that I've done so far, some journeys. One of them to Amsterdam, another one a cross-country journey where we bought an RV and moved to Portland from New Jersey, and I'm really interested to know what's on your bucket list. Even though the show was last week, I would love to hear any feedback you have about anything you've done that you feel really proud of, or anything that you want to do, anything you want to share. Please write me or post on Facebook or tweet me. This week we're going to be talking about technology. We're going to be talking about photos. Do you have old photos that you found? Do you have any audio or video that you found from your parents? Are you curious to know what's on it? Maybe it's like the old school videotapes, or even older. Maybe it's with the old reels that are on the plastic or even on metal. What do you do with them? How do you find out what's on them? Do you even want to find out what's on them? I would be curious to know what's going on these reels. I actually have a bunch of reels that I found, and some of them I got rid of because they weren't labeled, and my dad was in radio and television for many years, and so I decided I cannot keep all of these. I can't move them across the country, so I decided to keep the ones that were labeled. And I still don't know what's on them, but I did find a company that will find out for me, and it's very convenient for me on this side because I can ride my bike to that shop, and that shop is called Blue Moon Camera, and you can go to their website, bluemoon.camera.com, and check them out. So what did I find? I found reels. I found old film. I actually also found like these. I guess they're not negatives. They're color version, but they're a tiny version of the photo of my grandparents when they were like on some vacation or something, and when I went there, they were very, very nice and very kind, and did not rush me at all in trying to make my decisions about stuff. So first of all, I gave them the film canisters, and I was like, I don't know what's on here. It could be nothing, it could be something. And so they helped me decide how to best and in lowest cost process those films, and then decide if I want to do anything else additionally with those things. With my grandparents' little mini photos, they have a light box, and I put the miniature versions of the photos on the light box, and they gave me little like a magnifying glass almost to look at it and to see if there's any of them that I really wanted to actually turn into photos. And the reels, they work with several other outside companies and vendors that will take those reels and put them on to CDs or DVDs, I guess whichever one you request. And they're done. I have to go pick them up. But I really thought today I wanted to talk about what to do with these photos, or what kind of possibilities are out there, you know. So Blue Moon Camera actually will work with people all over. I'm sure all over the world, but I'm just going to say all over the country for right now because because I shouldn't assume about that kind of stuff. But what you do is you go to bluemooncamera.com, you click on their services, and they have instructions on how to send your film. You can get an order estimator. Before you do anything, you can find out what might it cost, because that's important. You can't just send stuff out to people and cross your fingers that it's not, $500 or whatever it is. I found it to be extremely cost effective. The rolls of film that I had developed, I think they were anywhere from it was $4 to $8. So it was $8 for black and white and $4 for color, or vice versa. And I think it was $1 a piece as far as the little getting the other pictures of my grandmother blown up. And the reels, I want to say they're $10. I think it's pretty awesome. It is kind of uncomfortable to send, things that are really important to you somewhere. So if sending them to some place like Blue Moon Camera isn't in the cards, you might want to find a local place like Blue Moon Camera, and they're really few and far between these days because a lot of the film labs have gone out of business because nobody does that kind of stuff anymore, but they do. We're in Portland, Oregon, and there's always somebody doing something. They even sell old typewriters and stuff like that. People buy them. So you visit bluemooncamera.com and click on services. The instructions are there about getting an order estimate. You box and ship your film, and then you give them about a week. So to do any digital scans you need to do, making fine optical prints, or developing film. They're really kind, and they're actually talking to them might be helpful too. I can give you their phone number. It's 503-978-0333. And even though I haven't even picked up my stuff yet, I really want to highly recommend them as a resource for finding out what's on your parents' film and any other film you have. What's going on these things. I don't know. I might find something that's total crap. Maybe I find a gem. I don't know. But I'm willing to spend a little bit of money to find out, because the thought of not knowing drives me crazy. So once I find out if it is amazing or if it's crap, then I will feel so much better. So that's Blue Moon, bluemooncamera.com. They're not paying me for any advertising, anything like that. I just wanted to share this resource with you because I think it's awesome. I also love that it's here in Portland, and that they also work with people all over the place. So what other creative things can you do maybe once you find out what's on these things? I mean, the audio and the video will be just nice to have and share. The video, I bet you could turn into a Vimeo or a YouTube video, if that's something you wanted to share out there in the world. Vimeo actually has a setting with the Vimeo, I think it's just Vimeo Pro, where if you had like a blog or something and you only wanted to play it on that blog and you didn't want anyone to copy the URL and share it other places, you just wanted to be able to be just playable on your website or your blog or whatever, there's a setting there that in privacy that you can do that and set it up to just be like, playable on your domain. If you didn't care about privacy and that doesn't matter to you and you wanted to share it with friends and family, I bet, uploading it to a YouTube channel that you create and then sharing it on your Facebook page or with friends and family or via email, like I think that would be a really beautiful gift to you and also to your family. And I can't wait to find out what's going on these audio things. I only gave them 2. Because I just wanted to see what the quality was going to be. I didn't give them everything. I have a whole box, and I was like, let me just start with a couple of things. So as far as photos go, I'm actually on a quest on self-discovery about what to do with photos, because anybody that grew up before the 90s and before digital cameras were popular has probably stacks and buckets and bins of photos. And so I'm probably going to go on my own journey here and figure out what it is I'm going to do with these photos, because I don't know if I want to keep everything because it takes up so much space. But at the same time, I'm like, throwing away a photo is painful, So I'm collecting ideas on my Pinterest page, which I just added a new post today called Creative Ideas, What to Do with Your Parents' Stuff. And I have a Pinterest board that I started a while ago and I haven't added anything recently, but I will be adding some more things. And anything you want to share that's creative that you've done with a photo or audio or video or anything. The stuff I have right now is actually about ties. And it was inspired by a woman who had written me about what she found all these ties and she didn't know what to do with the ties, and I was like, hey, what if maybe you can make something cool? And so I found on Pinterest someone made a vest, someone made a pillow. Actually, there's 2 pillows, and then there's a wreath. And I think these are really cool ideas to do something like, what are you going to do with a stack of your dad's ties? I don't know if you still have them. I have a bunch of my dad's hats. Like, he loved hats, and he got hats from working in CBS television for years. There's always something. And T-shirts, I have a bunch of his T-shirts, and so I've been thinking about making like a T-shirt quilt, and then what do you do with it? You hang it on a wall? Do you use it? I don't know. But as far as his hats go, I have no idea what to do with them. I really don't. I haven't dove in 150% into Pinterest figuring out what can I do with hats. I think I did once, and I was like, I need to focus on something else. But if you have any creative ideas you want to share, post it on the Facebook page. I know that there's a lot of other people who are like, I don't know what to do, with this stuff. I'm currently interested in photos and anything you've done with photos. I did find on Pinterest, it's not on the Losing Your Parents yet, but I will add that to that board, really cool ways of hanging photos with frames and being able to change them out. So the change them out part of it is really important to me because that gives me some freedom. It also gives me the freedom to be able to pick and choose what I want to have in there. So, and you can rotate in photos. And so I don't like the idea of having like just one photo on the wall for 20 years. Like, I need to have, some rotation of art going on. And that's really appealing to me. So I'll be adding that to my Pinterest board. And if you go to my website and you click on Creative Ideas, What to Do with Your Parents' Stuff, and if you're listening to this later on and there's been more posts that have pushed it down, just there's a search at the bottom of the page to search for and just say, Creative Ideas, What to Do with Your Parents' Stuff. So I'm really curious to know what you've done. a woman on the Facebook page named Sue said, I took all of them to a photography studio and they put them on DVDs. I first borrowed an old 8mm projector from our park district and went through all the old movies to see what I needed to transfer. That's really cool. So I guess that's another thing, is that if you can get a hold of something and you want to check it out to see if it's worth taking it to a store, that's absolutely a possibility. And if it's within your means, then you can get that from the library, or like some places, I don't know, like you might want to go on Craigslist and ask if anybody has an old one of these. Like, I guess I asked a similar question to the guy at Blue Moon, and I was like, oh my God, maybe I have an old audio reel player, I don't know what to call them. And he's like, you could fix that, you could try to play these things, but you're risking also ruining the reel. Like maybe you find something that's like an old machine and it rips the tape in half. Like then you have to sort of run the risk of not being able to actually see or hear what's on those things. So just be careful when you make that choice to find something that works. Maybe it's worth it to just take it somewhere and have them work with somebody who knows about the equipment and who is familiar with it and can extract what you are looking to extract. What else can I share with you about this? So something's coming to mind. So I found some photos ago of my dad, and he's in one of those photo booths where it's just him. And then there's my mom. She's not in a photo booth, but it's like sort of similar because it's a strip of photos from high school. It kind of looks like she was in a photo booth, but it wasn't. And then I was at the Jersey Shore several years ago waiting for my fiancée, Catherine, to ride her bike across the state of New Jersey, which she did in a couple of hours, and around the shorter way, so from west to east. I was waiting for her, and I was like, God, I really want to eat a cupcake. Like, there's this cupcake place there, and it's very appealing. Like, they're just so yummy. And I got this mint chocolate cupcake, and they have a photo booth, and while I was waiting for her, I was like, I'm going to take some pictures of myself with me and this cupcake, and I did. And it's just kind of comical because I'm just eating this cupcake. And so I actually put my dad's photo and my mom's photo and then my photo next to each other, and it's just funny, And these are photos of my parents that were taken before I ever knew them. And honestly, those are the photos that I can handle. I don't have pictures of my parents around. For me, it's painful. It's like painful to see them. And until I get to a point where I don't feel that way, where I feel like it's positive, I don't know if I can have pictures of them around. Pictures of them before I knew them have a different energy about them. I have less emotional attachment to the fact that they're gone versus who they were in the past. So I'm more likely to put up an old photo of my dad. And there's one that I love, and I think that, it'd be really nice to get it blown up. And Pinterest is amazing for ideas for photos, for anything creative. Check out Pinterest. If you're not sure, you've never been on Pinterest, you don't really know what it's about, just check it out, because there's a lot of creative ideas out there. And if you're thinking about what do I do with these photos, look to Pinterest for ideas. It's pretty amazing. Other things you can do with photos are just go through it, sit down and just spend a half an hour putting on some music, going through a box of photos. You might need a box of tissues too. And seeing what's there and what you'd like to keep and making a pile of things that you're like, I don't know what I want to do with this, but I want to do something. And then the other photos are photos of someone's foot someone took by accident, or a tree or whatever, and those don't really matter to you. Get rid of them. Save some space. And you can take them to a professional photo store such as Blue Moon, or you can scan them yourself if you have the time and energy. I have 2 scanners, and the thought of sitting down to scan a bunch of photos is not appealing to me at all. So that might be something, even though I'm totally capable of doing it, that I hire a company to do. Or maybe I have so many photos that I'd like to get digitized that I invest in a specific kind of scanner that just goes boop, 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 and scans like one photo after the next after the next. So it's not, 2 minutes of photo. Like, that's the thing I think I'm feeling fear about, is like I want to do it, but I don't want to sit here for like 15 hours and scan photos. Who wants to do that? You might want to do it. You might want to have the time to do it. I don't know. So these are just some thoughts to have, to work with, to figure out. Yeah, I don't know what else I want to say about photos and whatnot. I'll let you know how it goes as far as, the picking up the photos goes, and, of course, share with you what's going on if I find any creative ideas on Pinterest. If you find any creative ideas on Pinterest, please share them with me. I really would love to hear them and to know about them. And what else? I'm not feeling very well today. I slept a really long time, and I still don't feel well, and I'm drinking water, and so I'm a little bit like, I think I'm just going to leave it there. Today. I appreciate you listening. I'm thankful for your presence in my life. It brings me a lot of joy to share whatever things are going on this side with you, and I hope that you do the same. Thank you so much for listening. Take care.